today, what I wanted to get into with you guys is my So You Want to Be a Pro series. These are the things that no one is covering, and when they do talk about it, it is bad advice. So to start out this series, I'm going to start out with foundations because that is a big one. One of the most expensive things you will invest in your kit that will last you a lifetime, but I do have some tips on how to save money with foundations and not compromise on quality. So to start out, guys, number one, palettes are your best friend. Foundation palettes are an absolute lifesaver. So the one that I am using now is the Graftobian. I believe this is the HD. Yes, so the Graftobian HD Glamour Creme. Yes, super palette. I have this in warm. Let me show you guys what this looks like. It's just this little palette right here. This is my absolute favorite. As you can see, I'm going through a lot of these shades. Clearly, like attracts like, so a lot of my clients do have a skin tone similar to mine. That's just how it goes. Usually, if you're a beautiful brown skin girl, you will happen to attract a lot of brown skin women just because we all have issues with shade matching. And so you go with someone who you know can probably match you. That's what it is. So these cream palettes are amazing because not only do they provide a natural look, but you can build them up, and cream will last you so much longer, give you longer wear than a liquid foundation. A lot of people are like, oh, my foundation, it doesn't last, the humidity, this, that, and the third. Well, go with a cream foundation. So these palettes are a lifesaver in so many more ways than one. This palette right here actually only cost me $75. They have this in cool, neutral, and warm. And Deshawn Hatcher just released her collaboration with them, the Inclusion palette. So you no longer need to purchase all three. You can purchase her palette, which I believe launched at maybe $65. And I've never seen these at more than $85. And if you have a pro discount, which will be another video, you can definitely get these for somewhere around the $75 price range on a regular basis. So I definitely recommend something like this Graftobian palette. Also, who makes great cream foundation palettes is RCMA. Danessa Myricks originally launched hers as the usual commercial size 1 fluid ounce bottles, but she released it again for pros. It now comes in smaller tubes. I'll insert clips somewhere in the video so that you can see all these products that I'm talking about. She has smaller tubes and also has her own little detachable palettes that kind of resemble pill cases so that you can snap them off and take a couple, or attach them and take the whole things. The way she likes to describe her cream foundation is almost if you let it melt down on your hand from the body heat, and it gives it a more pliable finish. It's also waterproof, so that's also a great way to go if you prefer the application of liquid but you want the longevity of a cream. Definitely opt for Danessa Myricks. Hers are, I guess you could say, a little bit on the pricier end. She does have the neutral palette and she has the warm palette. Both of those retail at, I believe, $199. You might as well say $200 per palette. There's N1 through 10, and then there's W1 through 10. W1 through 10 is the darker of the two, and as you can probably tell by the name, warmer of the two. If you have to start out with just one, I highly recommend getting N1 through 10 because it still covers a huge range of people. They're also great for mixing. You can mix her foundations very easily and they will apply, give you a great color. A lot of times with cheaper foundations, you can mix them, but it's still kind of hard to gauge the shade that you're going to get. Hers is straight and to the point. It's amazing. It's made with artists in mind. If $200 is a bit much, I highly recommend saving up your money or putting it on your Christmas list, because Christmas lists are a girl's best friend or a boy's best friend when you are trying to become a pro makeup artist. That is how you will get most of your expensive items. Put them on your Christmas list. Ask for them for your birthday. That's how I do it. The next one, Sacha Cosmetics palettes. Now this, I did used to have it. I threw mine out I didn't like them because I like a foundation that has a little less wax in it. The more wax a foundation contains is great because it will last you all day, but you do have to take a lot more time breaking it down and working with it with body heat to get it to be more pliable. Also, because it is a thicker foundation, I found that it settled in a lot of my clients' smile lines. Unless you're a perfect supermodel, smile lines are going to be a real thing that you are going to face, and you'll find more and more women are concerned about it. So if you get smile lines, you can also imagine that if they're emotional, lose their eyebrows, it may crack in their foreheads. So that is a great foundation if you learn how to work with it. I highly suggest using it with a very emollient moisturizer, which will be covered in the So You Want to Be a Pro skincare video or skin prep video, because that is also important. So that one, try it out, see how you like it. I highly recommend buying the individual, testing it out on yourself, seeing what you think. I will tell you, if you are in a hot climate, that bad boy will last you, because Sacha Cosmetics was designed with the Caribbean in mind. And if you know anything about the Caribbean, it's extremely hot and extremely humid. The last one is Bnai. Now this palette I have not tried. I do not have any Bnai Cosmetics or products in my kit at the moment. However, I've heard great things about their blushes. Bnai was originally started as theater makeup or stage makeup, but they also have their beauty collection, same with Graftobian. And these products are amazing because they're made to hold up under hot lights. So being that they know that technology and making them last on stage, making them pigmented enough so that you have your coverage and look great on stage or in video, they knew how to apply that to beauty makeup. And very lastly, actually no, I have 2 more points under foundation. So Makeup Forever, a few months back, launched their palette of their HD foundations. So now, as you know or may not know, initially you had to buy individual 1 ounce foundations from Makeup Forever if you wanted their matte velvet or their HD. Unfortunately, the matte velvet is still not in a cream form, but you know that the HD was made into sticks, and now it's in a palette. It retails for $110. This one, it has less colors in it, so you are going to have to do a bit more mixing. But if you start to learn how to mix, or you know how to mix already to get the right shade, which is really just trial and error, to be honest with you, it'll cover a bunch of ranges. People often complain these palettes don't have a lot of product, but that is false. When you learn how to apply, you realize that these were formulated to move easily, but also set easily, mix easily, and not require so much product. You don't need a lot of product like you do when you buy from the drugstore. They give you the coverage that you're looking for. The goal we're going here for is not cakey, but flawless and enhanced. So you have to remember that when you're looking at these palettes, oh, they're small. Absolutely. For makeup artists, you want everything to be compact. You want to fit as much in your kit as possible without taking up too much space and without making your kit extremely heavy or susceptible to damage. Okay, so along with the Makeup Forever, which is absolutely amazing, if you have oilier skin, you have to do your prepping a little bit differently because it may potentially get oily a little quicker than some of these other foundations. But however, it's still an amazing foundation. It's one of those that you can use on all skin types. Everything on this list can actually be used on all skin types with proper skin prep, which is also why you need to invest in pro products. Lastly, for the foundation suggestions is Black Opal or Iman. Black Opal is raved about by a lot of Black artists. If you are trying to cover African American skin, olive tones, warm tones, things like that, like I said, simply put, African American skin or people of color, period, if they have a tan, it doesn't matter. They don't come in fairer shades, which is why I recommend them for tan and deeper skin tones. But they're simply a great product at an affordable price range. So they're less than $10. I think they retail for about $9.95. most places. You can follow them on Instagram. That's what I ended up doing. You'll often see 20% off sales, 30% off sales. They also have Black Friday sales. Stock up on the whole foundation range because they are only $10 a piece, and there's 16 shades, but I believe they just created 3 new shades. Not sure if they discontinued them or discontinued a couple first, or if they just expanded, so somewhere around 16. Also, the Iman stick foundations, haven't tried those. They're not as popular, but they probably work just the same, to be honest with you. And when you buy these stick foundations, what most artists will do, and what I highly recommend that you do, is purchase a view set. So get a view set. It's only a couple bucks, maybe, I think between like $14 and $20 maybe. Get the, I want to say it's the Tahitian palette. I don't know, but it'll be up on the screen once again. And that will save you. You just want to go ahead, take your spatula like this, scoop it off of the stick, and put it right in the view set. Now let me make a recommendation to you while I'm on this subject. When you are depotting your foundation sticks and putting them in your view set, do not melt them. I repeat, do not melt them and put them in there to try to be perfect. It is possible that you are changing the formulation, altering the finish, and things like that. So when you are depotting them, just make sure, this is why I emphasize getting a spatula, you'll just scrape it off and push it right into your palette. Whew. All right, so let's cover a bit of the don'ts where you can easily spend too much money on your foundations and easily regret it later. Number 1, definitely do not buy every shade in the foundation range. If you are somebody who likes single foundations, like I mentioned earlier, Makeup Forever, their matte velvet product, but it doesn't come in a palette form, it doesn't even come in a cream form. So you're gonna have to buy those individually. Do not buy every shade. Usually the rule is to skip every other shade. You can skip quite a few shades if you learn how to use ratios and mix your foundations differently. That will save you a ton of money. Being able to color match and understand undertones and mixing foundations is going to save you a lot of money down the road. You'll tend to rely on your skill more than relying on the product itself, and you'll be able to master the whole spectrum of skin tones without having to spend thousands of dollars to get the whole spectrum of skin tones. Mind you, that buying so many foundations will also take up entirely too much space in your kit. You don't want to be traveling with a heavy kit. You don't want to travel with too many items to where they're too susceptible to losing things and you don't even realize that you've lost them until you add back to your house. At that point it's too late and now you're stuck having to buy a new one. Because trust me, it will happen. Number 2, please stop buying these drugstore foundations. I'm excluding Black Opal and Iman from this because they are absolutely amazing. If you've tried it, you know this isn't your regular drugstore foundation. What I'm talking about specifically is I'm tired of seeing people suggest CoverGirl or Revlon for your kits. Those are great if you want to suggest your client an affordable item that they can use at home by themselves. Okay, great, go for CoverGirl. But guess what? Those products are not lasting. It's made with the consumer in mind. Consumers look for different things than pros. I am an avid believer that if you're buying these drugstore foundations and your client sees these drugstore foundations, don't be surprised when you feel like you're struggling to charge people more than $40, because if you're using a obviously $10 foundation that they can go home and smudge on themselves, well, they're only going to pay you $40 for it. My last don't. Sorry guys, I have my handy dandy notebook here, which you'll probably see in a lot of videos because I like to make sure that I don't miss any of my points. My last one here is avoid buying foundations from brands that do not offer pro discounts. Okay, so let's start with Makeup Forever. That's a tricky one. So Makeup Forever does not offer pro discounts on their website. However, they are on Camera Ready Cosmetics, where you can get anywhere from a 5 up to 40% discount depending on the credentials that you submit, so that is a great way to stock up. Black Opal, again, I don't believe they offer a pro discount, but they are very inexpensive. So it's worth it. But when you get into expensive foundations, you can't really afford to put Fenty in your kit, Lancome in your kit, double wear in every shade in your kit. It gets costly. I do have some general tips on how to build your kit, so that probably will be my next video. If I happen to remember this tip, I'll share it on my Instagram, but I can't remember at the moment, guys. So if you have any feedback, questions, please drop it down below in the comment box. I will probably put all this information in my blog as well. Go ahead and click that subscribe bubble or that next video, and go ahead and give your girl a like, comment, and subscribe so we can grow together. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.